think being ruined for the ordinary for me just means to be a true follower of Jesus. You know, I think we've settled for a sort of discipleship which isn't really a biblical discipleship in a lot of our churches. And I think Jesus calls us to something which is really radical, countercultural, something that stands out, something that either attracts people or really gets them angry. And I think that's the kind of discipleship that God's continually challenging me about living, and that's what we're hoping to sort of impart to the students we have.
Well, I guess coming to Kahila, I've realised it's a massive calling from God for me to do this, and I guess He's just trying to make me realise that there's a bigger picture. Like, this is preparation for me to go into like my ministry, whatever I'll be doing in my life. I'm not sure what it'll be yet, and that's the exciting thing. But like, God has a plan for me, and I wanna find out what it is, and I want to get into it. Living in the church army community has helped me towards that.
Yeah, living in community has been interesting. Such big changes within my heart that have changed the way I see life and the way I see myself and the way I look at things and the way I deal with situations. It's helped me be able to heal my own heart, so that if I heal my heart, then I'm able to help other people because I'm more of a whole person.
I realised that I have to kind of let go of the past, and from that, like, I've grown tremendously. So like, letting go of the past and then looking forward to the future is just awesome. That you're just doing, God's with you the whole way, so you don't need to feel nervous or anything and stuff. It's just real, so God's with you the whole time, so you don't need to worry about anything or what you do or how you do it, because God's with you. So yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
Amazing. I've loved this one so much. Looking at yourself, looking at your issues and having to confront them and deal with them before God. And since coming here, I felt more like, you know, God does have a plan for you, and I'm not going to let go of that.
Okay.
And that means dying to self every day and taking His path, which is not always easy, but I just could never let go now of that.
Gap year's been incredibly challenging, and a time of great sort of, it sounds really corny, but self-exploration. I think it's been incredibly hard, but incredibly worthwhile at the same time, and it's certainly increased my knowledge of both myself, but more importantly God. The cert for itself has been maybe 24 to 25% of my learning experience. Really, it's the stuff that comes to the surface when you're living in a community such as this that I think is most helpful, and the most building experience, and also the most painful at the same time.
Living here has been really fun. It's really beneficial. And I think one thing that I've learned is that I can change cultures but still express the same God.
Do what you like.
Okay, it was really challenging and scary, but yeah, really rewarding in the end. I really struggled to have the confidence to speak up in class because I felt like I wasn't smart enough compared to the other people in the class. But yeah, I've really been encouraged to speak up, and I find it a lot easier now. And yeah, I'm not scared of what other people think because my opinion matters, as I've been told.
Biggest challenge probably being living away from home, and the context we were in has caused a lot of introspection. Myself, brought up a lot of things that I wouldn't have necessarily dealt with had I not been in this environment, and so dealing with the stuff that comes up. You know, when I really want something, I work hard towards it. I practice for hours a day, condition my whole body for it. You know, like change my sleep patterns to fit in so that I'm at my prime at the time when I have to perform. And if that's for something like playing a musical instrument, then how much more so should I be disciplined and training for a lifelong of serving God.
And then getting excited about taking what they've learned out into the community, into mission, into life. And
they're obviously going to be put in positions where they're going to feel completely out of their depth, which we all do at the beginning of ministry, so that'll be good. I guess our preparations majored a lot on character and relationship with God and relationship with other people, rather than giving techniques about how to do particular things. So there'll be some growth in that area for them. And I'm really hoping they'll learn to trust God in every situation, to be sensitive to what the Spirit of God is doing in the people that they're working with, and be able to respond appropriately from the missional training that we've given them about listening, about responding appropriately, not only with words but in acts of random kindness or planned responses or even prophetic responses. So we're hoping some of that stuff's given them a bit of an undergirding, and that they can then work that out practically on the mission field.
I'm going to be working with women who in restoration, and just helping women with drug problems, and I just feel like that's where my heart is and that's where my passion is. Yeah.
I'm going to a place called Yellowknife in Canada, in the Northwest Territories, and I'm going to work in a drop-in centre. And we're working with Inuits and stuff, mentoring them, building one-on-one relationships with them, discipling them and stuff. And so that's really cool. And also I'm going to run hopefully a Youth Alpha course with the guy there, so that'll be cool.
I'm going to New Brunswick in Canada, southeast part of Canada. Show them Christ's love and that they can fill their lives with Christ instead of the problems they use to try and fix a problem. Yeah.
I'm going to Liverpool, England.
Yep.
And I'll be working with kids in Page Moss. The next challenge, being my own person in God in a new environment, and I'm taking responsibility for all that I can in that area.
Well, I'm going to Scotland, to a tiny little town called Newcastleton, which is about 20 miles north of the English-Scottish border, near Hadrian's Wall. And I'll be working with drug-afflicted youth.
I'm going to Vancouver in Canada, and they sent me a letter and they said that I would be teaching guys who've been struggling with alcohol addictions from the Bible, and also kids who have trouble with regular school.
Off to New Orleans, not New Orleans, and doing some post-hurricane stuff.
I'm going to Yellowknife in Canada, and I'm going to be working in a drop-in centre.
The students have had a real taste of, I think, Church Army's DNA in this GAP course, because it really does express who we are as an organisation, that we are about reaching the least, the last and the lost. We're about a mission-shaped church rather than a tractional model of church. And that we're really training up people to be either members of church planting communities, or to actually be, if they go on and do the diploma, actually to be missional leaders of mission-shaped churches. So I think those things have been imparted to them, and we're hoping that out of gap year, some of these young people will actually become Church Army pioneers in Australia or around the world.
I feel ruined for the ordinary. I felt that halfway through the course. I was like, I'm never going to be able to live a normal life again. There's so much more to life than just working a normal job.
I don't know, you just get changed.
I think as Christians we can often consign him to different times, when we pray, when we read our Bible, when we go to church, when we're in fellowship with other Christians, but he's ever present. He doesn't just kick into action when I'm awake. And so that idea has really hit me with a lot of force.
Means I'm not okay with being complacent. Instead of sitting around getting spiritually fat, becoming spiritually fit wherever my context is, and exercising faith.
Okay, we run this same course for older people in intensives 4 times a year for 2 years, and that becomes the Cert 4 in local mission. The same course, but for older people. And we had one of those intensives here at the weekend, and it was so exciting to see the interaction between the older students and the GAP students. And I think one thing that really amazed me was how the older students were just so blown away by these kids, who have just left school and, not quite sure where they're heading in life, but just to see that their passion for Christ was so real and so vibrant. And one guy has gone away from that course back to Tassie, and he's just so enthusiastic, and he said it's changed his life being here, but also seeing God at work in these young people, because it's just been, what did he say, Pete? It was just like he just couldn't believe that he could just sit down and have these amazing conversations with these kids who are half his age, and just the impact that they're going to have with it, you know, just the passion that they have for Jesus and the way that they've embraced the course and the whole aspect of community. That he's going to take that and run with it, because he wants to be part of that too.